How's it going, everyone? Hopefully you're doing well. Welcome to the T-100 LT. Now, I don't normally play light tanks as I'm honestly just not that good in them, and it's probably one of my more worst classes to play. However, we are going to be playing the T-100 LT today. We have got CVS, vents, and optics. You could realistically ditch the vents to put a gun rammer on, or you could even ditch the CVS to put the gun rammer on, especially in maps where it's like Himmelsdorf and stuff like that. Ideally, for light tanks, you do want two setups with the field mods. I do not have the field mods on this tank as, yeah, I don't really play it. You do really want two setups. You don't need stabs on the T-100 LT because it already gets really, really, really good soft stats for it. They are like god tier soft stats. So don't bother with stabs. You can put something else on it. You can bump up the DPM so it's really, really nice. And you can actually pretty much compete with some medium tanks, to be fair. We're also going to be playing mostly with standard ammo because, to be honest, it's better. Like, sure, you get the 248 on the AP rounds, is nice. And yes, it's much better pen, especially considering normalization and whatnot. However, they go at 790 meters a second. No. So, yeah, I'm going to be mostly using APCR, to be honest. Anyway, let's get straight into some games, shall we? Okay, so our first game is on good old Mannerheim line. Now, where is the EBR going? EBR is going somewhere. Good. EBR's going up. What? Okay. I'm going to try and go and get the early spot on the people that are going to be crossing in the A6 line or area. So let's see if we can get the early spots onto that. Mannerheim line is probably not the best of maps, to be honest, to try and scout on, especially from this side. This side doesn't really get much to do. You're kind of just at the mercy of if the enemy are going to cross like this. We get a little bit overly greedy there. I mean, the good thing about the T-100 LT is that you can actually trade pretty well. You do have some armor, not a lot, but you do have some. So you can kind of negate the... Well, he's not having fun. You can negate some of the... Oh, that one went way too high. You can negate some of the potential damage that you would be taking otherwise if you weren't in a... or if you were in a more lightly armored tank. It's kind of like a light tank slash medium tank because even in maps like Himmelsdorf, you can still get away with brawling, especially against lower tier medium tanks. I don't know where this WZ's gone, to be honest, and I am a little bit scared. Well, we don't spot anything there. And pretty much everything has been spotted at this point. See if we can get one more shot in. This guy's going to die. I think I shouldn't have been greedy there and tried to nick the kill. That was a rock. Very nice. Good job, Max. Well done. Can we get a shot on this? We can. Rip. 279. That's not really a tank that's too easy for us to pen because we don't even have the pen to start with. Man. We also don't have the gun depression. Gonna repair the trap. 202. Three, 3, 1. Oh, missed. I thought I was gonna have enough traverse speed to get him. Oh well. I mean, the game's over already. this isn't really a good light tank map. Not from this side, realistically, because you don't have many bushes to sit in. You have this bush over in D7 for the enemy team, but on this side, you don't really have anything. Like, you have the bush that I went into later on in the game at G5, G6, yeah, G6, and that's about it. Like, the other side of the map has so many more locations that they can sit in compared to you. Well, 43 spotting damage. Very good. Well, another wonderful spotting map that we're getting ourselves on again. Yeah. I don't know. Let's just see if we can do anything. Hopefully we can spot stuff that is crossing here. We should be able to. If another one crosses, I'm going to try and shoot it. And I'll back off. Thanks. Thanks so much. Oh, God's sake. Right, well, don't know what to do now. Any ideas? Because I don't really have any. Just gonna try and get damage as and when I can then, I guess. I'll try and kill this EBR, to be fair. Can't EBR, just over peak. Oh. They are pushing aggressively. I do not really like that. I mean, we might be able to get something out of this. I can't pen that. I can pen that. He says. Gun depression again. Oh, man. This is not happy. Not happy? Not happening? Right. I mean, I'm not happy, yeah, sure. I really don't know what to do on this map in a light tank. Also, because I updated the mods and had to reinstall them, my efficiency counters that usually go down here are gone, so you have to bear with me on this video. This is the day. This is Wednesday of the week that I'm recording everything. So this is Wednesday the 13th, and their 1.17.1 just came out, and it, you know, wrecked all the mods. So a lot of stuff has just been gone. Cannot pen the lower plate of an E100. Very nice. That's what we'd like to see. Let's load. Can't even really hit him. Would be nice to be able to do something in this game, but there's literally nothing I can pen. Even if I use my premium rounds, it's not even like I have good premium rounds. And this Badger really just needs to stay alive if he can. I'm scared of the E100 though. Like, the E100 can just kill me instantly. I don't know where he's gone. Oh, really? Okay. I'll be able to get down here without him being reloaded, so. And hopefully we can get some shots on this E100 now. I don't understand how that bounces. Like, Let me get one more in, but nothing you can do. Like, this isn't a spotting map, and this isn't a map for a light tank, to be honest. Like, in those two games, that's where you really need the second loadout, so you can actually use DPM. I don't really want to apply these, because I don't really care about this tank, to be completely honest with you. And it's not until level 3 that I actually get the field mod that I need, so I'm not really too fast. But yeah, like in that situation, don't need CVS. We can ditch the CVS and put a rammer in. I mean, you could probably even ditch the optics, but I don't know what else you would put in there. I mean, maybe you could put V-Stab, I guess, but like it really doesn't need it. I mean, maybe you could put Bounty Aiming if you're really wanting to brawl, or even HP boost. I mean, yeah, it's a weird one because the light tanks actually probably benefit the most from the two equipment choices, because you can quickly choose. If it's an open map, you can go with CVS. If it's a closed off map, you can ditch CVS and you can go for rammer. So it's really quite nice in that respect. And we could also ditch the vents and put a rammer, but I mean, realistically, it's not going to make too much of a difference. And like for the open maps, you don't really want the rammer, you want the vents on a light tank. So anyway, we'll play one more game. Okay, well, we're on Redshire and it is not looking so good. It's a good map for us, but the problem is that there's two light tanks. 3 light tanks, sorry. So we are probably not going to be enjoying ourselves too much. I'm going to be just waiting here just to see when the EBR pops up. Which, let's be honest, he probably... okay. I was not expecting him to be like right behind me. Man, what do you mean screen not penetrated? Wasn't that like directly on the side of his tank? I was expecting the EBR, one of the light tanks, to come up here, but they haven't. Well done, Sheridan. I mean, the Manticore is the best tank to go into that bush because he has the most camo of all of us, but... There's the 13105. And the Sheridan's already dead on their team, which is good. Apparently I am a T-100 cancer bot. I go AFK, good luck with it. I mean, I don't know what else you expect me to do right now. There is physically nothing I can do at the moment. We have an EBR, we also have a Manticore. What more do... Where exactly would you like me to spot? Oh, I wanted to try and... Okay. I wanted to try and block him. I can't believe he survived that. Can't get a shot on this guy, unfortunately. Look. I was going to load HE, but I don't think it's really worth it. CBR's pushing it over again. One's the EBR. If we can get this EBR and this 13105, sorry, killed, I think it's going to look quite good for us, actually. 50B shouldn't really be allowed to peek that. Like, we have a... Oh, we did have an FE. What happened to you? I mean, okay, I'm just going to block this guy. Add to blacklist. Goodbye. You're literally useless. This is the problem with having 3 light tanks. Realistically, this map only needs 1. Like, there should be a limit to 1. 1 or 2, and it's like map dependent. So like, if you get Prokhorovka, you could have 2 light tanks. You get Malinovka, you could get 2 light tanks. But like on these maps, like this, make it 1. Because any more than 1, and it kind of ruins it. It's like, there's just too many light tanks. And you're then fighting against your own team to get to spotting damage and to get the damage, and just, it's a nightmare. Which is one of the reasons as well that I don't like playing light tanks. Because you could have like 5 light tanks in one team. Like you could have 10 light tanks in the game. I fire when he goes behind this. Okay, well I was, but I was going to fire once he goes behind this, because then this will give me cover and I shouldn't get spotted by him. Okay, what I'm going to try and do is actually try to get to that bush again. Well, I say again. I want to try and get into these bushes over here. Because if I can do that, we might be... Really? I think this manticore had exactly the same idea as me. I mean, that's fine. I'll go down like this, and then you can go up there. Sure. It's actually not even that bad. The only thing that you need to watch out for here is that your proxy range is, if you look on the minimap, it's just below this house, or just around about in the middle of the house. If you go too far up, you can get proxied as they drive past, which is very bad. Need this thing to die, to be honest. I mean, we're not going to be winning this game, but... I get proxied by a Leo anyway. Well... Nice. Well, that was very enjoyable. I don't know. I feel like light tanks are so map dependent and team dependent that they're just not worth playing in nowadays World of Tanks, especially in 2022. Unless you're in like an EBR. If you're on an EBR, then it's fine because you can pretty much play any map. Like you're fast enough to get the initial spots, and then you're fast enough to also run away and do damage at the same time. Not to mention that if they hit your wheels, you don't really slow down and it just doesn't do damage to you. But in any other tank, I mean, maybe Manticore, I guess, for if you wanted to just do passive scouting, and you can just sit in a bush, then sure it can work. But that's so map dependent, it's not even worth playing. Like it's a very sorry state at the moment for light tanks, because a lot of the maps are just going away from it. Like Berlin got destroyed for light tanks, like absolutely wrecked for light tanks. Like Berlin is worth blocking if you're now playing a light tank. But then you also get maps like I just had, where on Tundra you can't really do anything. On Mannerheim line you have the chance, but not really at the same time. It depends on which side you spawn. And if you have another light tank on your team as well, then you're just fighting amongst them. And especially if the other light tank is an EBR, you don't stand a chance. What I'm trying to say is the matchmaking's dumb, right? And I don't mean that in like the developers are dumb and all of this. I mean in the fact that it just matches up ITZY light tank, ITZY light tank, we match them together and against each other. And it's exactly the same thing with a heavy tank. It sees one heavy tank, finds another one in the queue and just matches them against each other. It could be a 50B against a 279E, which are completely different. But yet all it sees is heavy tank. If they done it so that EBR would always be matched up against an EBR, and yes, the queue times would go up, but it would make the actual game and quality of life 10 times better. It would be so much nicer. And then I said about how you can have so it's only one light tank per team or 2 light tanks per team, depending on the map. If it's big enough for making 2 light tanks, you could then have the tracked light tank as your secondary. Yes, the queue times would go up, but as I just said, the quality of life and the actual playability of the game would increase so much. The exact same thing for heavy tanks, as I said. They really need to look into detail about like matching up autoloaders against autoloaders. And there's also no point matching up like a 50B against a Cran, for example. So you can't just do autoloaders. But like we shouldn't be having to come up with these ideas. The developers should already just implement them. But it seems like a no-brainer. Anyway, I think that light tanks are just, well, pretty much useless at the moment. Unless you get 2 field mods, then I mean, I guess, you know, you can just build it to a medium tank. And I think that's the best way of playing them half the time. Because you are reliant on your team if they can actually hit shots. And just like in that last game, nothing really happened because there was too many light tanks. So you're better off just playing as a medium. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below on light tanks and also the T-100 LT, and how you are finding it if you have played it. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, you know what to do, and I will see you all in the next video.